beginning, before time was counted by mortals, the earth was a realm of chaos. The gods of old, mighty beyond measure, ruled over existence, shaping the fabric of reality. Two brothers, Enlil and Enki, stood at the pinnacle of this divine order, their influence stretching from the heavens to the depths of the mortal world. They were sons of Anu, the celestial sovereign, yet their destinies were entwined in conflict and purpose. Enlil, the storm god, carried the winds of fate within his grasp. His presence commanded reverence, his voice thundered across the lands, and his will dictated the course of kings and civilizations. He believed in order, in the rigid application of divine law, and in the supremacy of his rule. His dominions stretched over the skies, the rains, and the very breath of life itself. Enki, the god of wisdom and water, held the knowledge of creation in his grasp. Where Enlil demanded order, Enki sought understanding. He shaped the rivers, nurtured the lands, and whispered secrets to those who would listen. He was the keeper of sacred knowledge, the master of hidden truths, and the one who, in his boundless wisdom, often defied the rigid structures set by his brother. In those primordial days, the Anunnaki, the divine assembly, oversaw the shaping of the world. They built the great cities, raised temples that touched the sky, and formed mankind from the dust of the earth. The human race was their creation, a labor force designed to serve and worship the gods. Enlil, ever the ruler, saw them as mere servants, bound by divine will. Enki, however, viewed them differently. He saw in them potential, a spark of divinity waiting to be kindled. As the eons passed, the conflict between the brothers deepened. Enlil's laws were strict, his punishments severe, and his rule absolute. He demanded that mankind pay tribute, labor endlessly, and revere the gods without question. Enki, ever the dissenter, sought to elevate humanity. He taught them the secrets of irrigation, the mysteries of healing, and the hidden language of the stars. Under his guidance, they flourished, their minds awakening to possibilities beyond mere servitude. It was this defiance that set forth the great schism among the gods. Enlil, furious at Enki's interference, sought to punish humanity. He called upon the divine assembly, declaring that mankind had grown too bold, that they no longer feared the gods as they should. He spoke of their insolence, their defiance, and their growing knowledge. He decreed that a great flood should cleanse the earth, washing away the taint of Enki's influence and restoring divine order. But Enki, in his wisdom and compassion, could not stand idly by. He whispered warnings to the chosen few, guiding them in the construction of a great vessel, a sanctuary against the coming storm. He spoke to Ziusadra, a man of great virtue, instructing him in the art of survival. He told him to gather his kin, the animals, and the seeds of life itself, ensuring that the world would not perish entirely. The flood came as Enlil had decreed, a torrential force that swallowed cities, devoured fields, and silenced the cries of the unprepared. For days and nights, the waters raged, consuming all in their path. The heavens wept, and the gods watched in silence as their creation was nearly undone. But when the storm finally passed, when the waves receded and the land was revealed once more, it was Enki's wisdom that had preserved life. Enlil, upon discovering the survival of mankind, was enraged. He confronted his brother, demanding an explanation for his defiance. Enki, unwavering, spoke of compassion, of the folly of destroying what they had nurtured for so long. He reminded Enlil that they were not merely rulers but caretakers, and that wisdom lay not in destruction but in guidance. The council of the gods convened, and Anu, their father, cast the final judgment. He decreed that mankind would endure, that Enlil's wrath had been justified but that Enki's mercy had been necessary. From that day forth, a fragile balance was struck. Enlil remained the lawgiver, the enforcer of divine will, but Enki became the hidden hand, the quiet whisper that guided humanity toward enlightenment. As the ages passed, mankind grew, their cities rising once more, their knowledge expanding. They remembered the flood, the wrath of Enlil, and the mercy of Enki. They built temples in their honor, wrote hymns of praise, and carried forth their legacy. Yet the brothers remained ever at odds, their influence woven into the fabric of human destiny. Thus, the story of Enlil and Enki became legend, a tale passed from generation to generation. Their struggle shaped the course of history, their choices echoing in the rise and fall of empires. And though time may have obscured their presence, their essence remains, hidden in the whispers of the wind and the currents of the deep, forever entwined in the fate of the world. Yet the gods were not finished with humanity. The mortals, having inherited the knowledge granted by Enki, expanded beyond the reach of the divine gaze. They built great kingdoms, mastered the forces of nature, and sought to control their own fates. This did not sit well with Enlil, who saw mankind slipping further from divine rule. He called upon the gods once more, proposing a new way to reassert their authority. He would not send another flood but would instead weave destiny itself to bend humanity back to servitude. Enki, ever the protector, foresaw his brother's plans and sought to counter them. He appeared in the dreams of kings and seers, whispering words of rebellion and enlightenment. He taught them the power of symbols, the strength of wisdom over brute force. He showed them how to carve their destinies into stone, ensuring that their voices would echo across eternity. Thus began a new era of struggle, where the will of the gods clashed with the ambitions of mankind. The ancient cities of Sumer, Akkad, and Babylon became the battlegrounds of faith and freedom, their rulers torn between loyalty to the gods and the pursuit of human sovereignty. Priests and scholars, guided by the wisdom of Enki, sought to unlock the mysteries of the heavens, while kings, bound by oaths to Enlil, struggled to maintain divine order. This battle was not fought with weapons alone, but with knowledge, faith, and power. Enlil's storms raged, but Enki's rivers nourished. The fate of the world hung in balance, as it had since the beginning of time. And so, the ancient struggle continued, shaping the course of history, forever entwined in the destiny of gods and men.